There is one thing in this world you must never forget to do. If you forget everything else and not this, there is nothing to worry about. But if you remember everything else and forget this, then you will have done nothing in your life. In this story, Rumi makes it clear that we can achieve whatever we want in life, make lots of money, have success, maybe have great relationship, travel the world, whatever. But if we miss the one thing, all will be in vain. It will be all meaningless. So without this key, there cannot be a real profound meaning in life. And you can see that this ingredient nowadays is really missing from today's society, from the people around you. So we are really going astray from this point of view. You can check, for instance, on Google the use of psychiatric medications, and you can discover that it is increasing year by year, and this trend is happening both in the East and in the West. It is very curious to me because the more we are getting things done with the AI, more and more, the more we are getting disconnected and stressed and unbalanced. So it is very strange because from one side we are achieving more, no? We are really doing the things we did before in a much quicker way, but at the same time this is not solving the big problem, the big issue of human living, no? Which is the deep realization, a meaningful life, which is of course the most important thing for everyone. So there's something wrong with the way us as a society are approaching life, that is clear. I really love this quote by Lao Tse that says, "He who stands on tiptoe does not stand firm." Indeed, this is universal, that what matters has to be approached with a kind of gentleness, humility, openness. You can think also at the arts, like drawing or like music. Before a professional musician can play very fast, difficult things, he or she really needs to play probably most of his life at a slow tempo, no? Slow timing. So where did we get this idea that going faster and being more performant is conveying better results? Probably is one of the great ideas of our age. By the way, so deep meaning and a real fulfilling life is not a rational process. It is just different than 2 + 2 = 4. It is just another dimension, we can say. With this, I'm not saying that setting goals is wrong. Actually, it is important for a certain level of life, no? Which is the ordinary life where we have relationship, we serve the society, we work and whatever. So all levels are important. If they exist, they have a reason, no, to exist. But the key here that Rumi also is highlighting is that permanent well-being, the well-being with capital W, capital B, doesn't really depend on how much we achieve, not in the ordinary way we are used to live. So this is one of the main reasons why really we can't find something deep in us, something essential. My liking and disliking are traps of illusion. My satisfaction and enjoyment are never the goal. My happiness, bliss, and joy are not the response to what I aspire. Another reason why we can't easily find the well-being or something essential in us is that we are attached to what we like to do and we avoid what we don't like to do. So this is pretty natural. You can see that everywhere, even in children. It is very normal, but once we get mature, if we want to get to that stage, we really need to open for both sides. They are really not static, they are not fixed. My experience is that things that in the past I didn't like, now I like, and the other way around too. Once we really start to work with these qualities, which are like the opposites of the yin and yang, and we transcend them in a way, we can find a kind of state which is indeed beyond feeling good or feeling bad. There is another level. So this transcendence of the opposites, it is a central element in so many traditions, in so many religions even. But this is not just about a dogma. It is not something that pertains to a way of believing. No, it is just common sense. It is just nature. It is something that is in every human being. But now I think you are asking yourself, okay, well, but what is this one thing? What Rumi is talking about, well, we can just read it in the rest of the story, is this. Remember the deep root of your being, the presence of your Lord. Give yourself to the one who already owns your breath and your moments. This is very deep, very mysterious, obscure in a way, but I would say first of all that the most important thing we need to recognize is that the word Lord or presence, these words, are not religious. So they are universal. They are talking of that essence which is in every human being. So this is the first thing. So since this Lord, this presence that Rumi is talking about is something essential, basically one cannot say, well, I'm not spiritual, so I'm not into this stuff, I don't like it, I don't care. If you say that, it's a pity because you are really forgetting and missing the most important part of yourself. See it like an axis, something around which everything is revolving. So if that is the case, this essence is determining the way you see things, the way you think, the way you sense, the way you feel, everything, really everything. So the more we connect to this essence, the more we unlock this possibility to increase the quality of everything around us. Indeed, we are not improving the external world. That is a trick. We are improving the way we perceive these impressions around us. So the external world is creating in us impressions. This is automatic and continuous. This is life, okay? Human life, at least. So in the way we react and manage what's happening inside us, we become creators. Rumi is saying this: do not ignore this essence. Do not waste your life. You are like the Lord of your reign. So if you ignore your essence, your kingdom will fall to misery. But if you connect with it with proper attitude, so with respect, with gentleness, humility, then this life is reflecting back the same qualities. So we start with attitudes. These attitudes generate behavior. So we really behave in a different way in life. And then, in this way we are creators. Something starts to reflect back and we realize that we were not just separate units, but we are part of life. We are participating in a way where we also have a responsibility, no? So really what we do has an instant effect. This idea of karma, like something that you do now and then maybe later, maybe in the next life, or in 10 years will be reflected back to you. This is really ineffective. It is very different because when you really find the keys, you really get it very practically. The more we get close to the essence, the more we see it. It's quick, it's effective. This concept, which is more than a concept, of course, of the center, is fundamental. Because when we don't behave from the central part, nothing works. We feel that it is all disconnected without meaning. That is the point. So when something is done from the center, then it just magically works. There are people, though, the so-called no sages, wise people, that you see, you observe them, it seems that everything that they do works. Or maybe it doesn't work, but they are always happy. They seem to be invincible. And they have this kind of magic dust, like the one of Peter Pan. And this is this connection with the essence again. To make it a bit more practical, I can also mention Tai Chi. For instance, there is really this very fundamental principle, one of the most important, which is move from the center. Only when you move from your central axis, from the place around the belly, only in that case you have effectiveness in movement. And this is not something that is just about martial arts. It is the same in life. So moving from the center, you are more effective. Tai Chi is indeed one way that I like because it gave to me really practical feedbacks, but there are others, more or less direct. The way I deeply appreciate and that is closer to me is Nam. It is, we could say, an approach to life that affirms life and that really quickly help you to get there, to discover this connection with what is essential. Nam has been formulated by Yoginam, which is a living sage, and this is really not about a dogma, this is not a religion. I wouldn't even call spiritual, because that creates lots of new age associations and things that really are making the whole thing much heavier than it is. Nam is really interesting because, first of all, it is always bringing the ancient transcendental, wisdom, something that is always the same, is permanent through the ages. But the way it is presented, of course, is different, is fresh, is really fitting today's people mindset, which is very important. It's like a hidden source that sometimes, comes up, and then, the wise people that are open to it can quickly grab its wisdom and change their life. It's all about change, but about a vertical change. So something that really helps you to go beyond yourself, which is the key indeed, because this essence is not the thing we think we are. It's completely beyond the thinking process, the rational thinking of I am this, I was this, and I will become this. It is completely beyond that. And this is not bad. This is the good thing, because the more we define, the less the potential, we could say. It's like the Tao. The Tao that can be defined or said is not the real Tao. This essence has to be contacted. We need to connect to this in a way that is really indirect, not with our rational means. Now the practical things, the tools to achieve this connection with the one thing. If we are happy with these concepts, they stay like ideas, we will never reach the point. So we really need to incarnate them, really to live them. Rumi again gives to us two important hints, two keywords. They are forgetfulness and remembering. Now, forgetfulness, I would dare to say that it is the main weakness of human beings. Why? We can see that forgetfulness is really a characteristic of our way of living, thinking, behaving. The more we observe it without judgment, the more we discover that we are continuously forgetting not only our essence, but also the superficial, ordinary things of life. We can see that around us there are many wars, unfortunately, physical wars, no? But the real war, for those who look very well, is not in the material domain, but it is more in the abstract domain, in the domain of attention. And we can recognize that with the propaganda, with the marketing, how it is evolving. It is all aimed, there are people, groups of people studying ways to really grab the attention, our attention, and then suggesting to our unconscious to act, behave in a certain way. So I would say that the most important skill or action or endeavor we need to do, especially in this age where we are bombarded continuously with these impulses, with smartphones and all the technical devices that we have, we need to develop some ways to protect our attention. So here comes remembering. So remembering is obviously to avoid forgetfulness, or to try to remember during the day as much as possible what is really important to us. It is more than just talking about attention and focus, because remembering involves really something that is deeper in the end. So really to infuse life with an additional dimension of awareness that is really helping us to direct life in a way that is really beneficial for us and the other people. We could say, like Yoginam says often, that Remembering is the central point, the central message that was embedded in all the wisdom of the past. This is really essential. It is not something new, but indeed we need tools that help us to find again this connection with that what really matters. So the central message is always the same. Remember, remember, remember. The more we remember, the more we get connected and more life responds to us and everything changes. There are many tools for remembering, and indeed the ones of Nam, I believe, are the quicker and the most direct. So in the next videos I will talk about them, make some parallels also with other traditions and other ways. If you like this video, if it resonated, stay tuned. You can subscribe to this channel, but even better, you can subscribe to my newsletter, so you get an email when I publish a new video. Okay, alright, take care, ciao.